Losing inches isn't easy, especially around your belly. Visceral fat is the stubborn belly fat that hides your hard-earned abs. This killer fat surrounds our organs, increasing the risk of high blood pressure, heart disease, and diabetes. Now you can give your hips, waist, and abs the advantage your body deserves. Introducing AbVantage, a stimulant-free hip and waist reducer from Colab. The active ingredients are clinically shown to help you burn calories 10 times faster. It works by activating fat-burning cells that target stubborn visceral fat to slim your hips and waist and help reveal your abs. It helps increase your metabolism so you can burn more calories and get leaner faster. Plus, it helps prevent rebound weight gain. Ditch yo-yo dieting. No more hiding in photos. Feel confident about your health. The advantage for slimmer hips and waist and helping reveal those abs is yours. So start taking AbVantage today.
I am very excited about this new product. You know, anything that helps us from the outside, it's great to have. I mean, life is tough, behavioral changes are tough, but I am really excited to share with you, as I call this, you know, the reason we call that killer fat is the fact that it really does, and it does shorten our life. Because it's associated with so many other things that I shared with yesterday. Blood pressure going up, becoming diabetic, cholesterol's going up, we start aging faster. So this is an outward sign of what's going on inside. And that's why we as physicians know, hey, it's great to lose weight, folks, but it's priceless to improve your health. So we see this AbVantage targets visceral fat, and this is interesting. You know, it's not just losing 100 calories a day. You got to understand that it's targeting this to help you. You know, we sometimes get into a plateau, or we get down to where we are, and they talk that resistance. And we all need help. And we saw that it can help people who've even lost tremendous amount of weight. But let me just share, there's white fat and there's brown fat. And I'll bet you have never really heard much about brown fat, right? So I'm here to try to explain it, but I want you to look at this slide. And you see the central fat is white fat. It's fat storage. That's what that is. It just sits there. It causes a lot of problems, associated with a lot of problems. But brown fat is different. Look where it's located. It's not in the abdomen. Everybody thinks, well, I'm going to take this, so I'll lose some brown fat along with my white fat, and that's what's going on. No, 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 no. That's not what's happening. The brown fat is metabolically active, and this is what we want. So white fat is basically a storage center for excessive calories. That's central weight gain. And it primarily collects, and it's called visceral fat. It can collect in our organs, and we can get fatty liver, we can get all that. Not good, not good. So that is what it is, but it is associated, like I said, with other problems. High blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, it goes on and it creates blood sugars going up, you become diabetic, you're at very high risk, 20-fold increased risk, 20-fold increased risk of having a heart attack or stroke. Trust me, I mean, you eliminate and you get this off, just think of the difference. You know, we talk about life and healthy life. I just like what John said. That's really what we're talking about, is quality of life. This is, you know, and if we get a little longevity, fine, but we want to live till we die. But brown fat is different. Brown fat is metabolically active, okay? Now, it is filled with numerous mitochondria, which is the furnace of the cell, just loaded with them. It's the only organ that has that. But it also is loaded with iron. That's what gives it its brown color. And this brown fat is able to create a tremendous amount of energy. Okay, we call it energy expenditure. It's the only organ that really can do that. So here it's unique. We call it a thermogenic. This is what's different. It's unique, and now Partner Co. has this. And so what the goal is to increase metabolic activity, which allows us to use glucose, attack this central fat, the other white fat, and decrease our white fat stores. That's the name of the game. But we don't want to decrease brown fat. Why? Because that's the energy source. In fact, it'd be nice to build it up a bit. But we're left with some brown fat, and that's what we're doing here. So people are always wanting to activate the brown fat, which allows us to lose weight, the white fat. But activating this brown fat increases energy expenditure. See, there's two sides of the coin. One is to eat less calories, to decrease your appetite, and we have the drops. So that's one side. But the other side is you increase your metabolism and energy. Now, metabolism, fine. But this is totally different. We call it energy expenditure. And we really look at it. It allows us to utilize more calories, decrease the white fat, control blood sugars, and it also improves that insulin sensitivity that I kept talking to you about yesterday. So here we have a fifth way. We have diet, exercise, supplementation, the drops. Oh, now we have AbVantage. It all works together. So that's what we're trying to do. But how do you activate the brown fat? Everybody wants to activate the brown fat, right? So here's how you do it. Exposure to cold. Do you know just before you start to shiver, the brown fat kicks into action? It causes heat. It just does it. So go take a cold plunge. Jump in the lake. Go up to Minnesota and jump in the lake. That sounds like a real good idea, right? You guys don't shiver much down here, but when I left my Rapid City, South Dakota, it was 0 degrees, and I'm walking to the airport, I'm shivering. My brown fat was activated. I don't think that's really that good. The other way to do it is aerobic exercise. We've already talked about that in, our body balance program. So aerobic activity not only improves insulin sensitivity, it stimulates our brown fat, especially if you start to get a little bit aggressive from time to time. A healthy diet, eating whole foods. People don't know this, but this is a real secret. If you eat the apple or the pear, you want to eat the skin because it has a special nutrient that activates brown fat. So here we're doing that, right? That's all great. But then you come, and I'm going to show this side of AbVantage. It increases calorie burn by 10 times. But it helps reduce the stubborn fat. We all need a little help. This is what it is. So that's great, but it increases metabolism, but in a little different way. Energy. And they call it energy expenditure. And these fat-burning cells in the brown, adipose tissue is what we're really working at. But it also, if you continue it and you lose your weight, it helps prevent regaining it. I always tell people, I always have my last side. Weight loss is great, but keeping it off is priceless. AbVantage will help you do that. That's what it is. So if you look at the ingredients, okay, we have L-tyrosine that help builds muscle, vitamin B, the B3, B6, energy, and helps convert stored carbs to glucose. Chromium is something people don't realize. It's a mineral. It really helps blood sugar control. It is one of the keys, and so it's there. But here's the secret. Grains of paradise. Now, you don't have to take a cold plunge. You don't have to, do all this stuff. You take the grains of paradise, and it stimulates and activates brown fat. That's it. The studies show it. It's there. So the grains of paradise is what is the key nutrient in AbVantage. It significantly increases energy expenditure by increasing, and it increases fat loss, but it's called a thermogenic. That's what you're going to hear. But the grains of paradise, it's the easiest to tolerate. It's the safest. You start reading the research. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful product. So by adding AbVantage to the Slenderized program, okay, is a winner. They're synergistic. They work together. And so you improve fat loss much more. So what we see is that after 4 weeks, the study, we saw 250% more visceral fat. That's the fat we want to get rid of. That's the killer fat. That's why I'm excited, because the inside starts to change, okay? Because you're improving insulin sensitivity, you're correcting the problem, and health comes back. Blood pressure comes down. Cholesterols come down. Blood sugars come down. You start feeling better. It's life. That's what we're talking about. But you notice an increase in total daily energy expenditure. Even though it's 100 calories, it's more than that, because it stimulates the fat loss. So it's not a calorie. We get calories in, calories out. We get faked out by that. I don't really believe in that, because once you tip over into this abnormal metabolic state, a calorie is no longer a calorie, because you can't utilize calories normal, because your muscle becomes insulin resistant first. And what happens is the muscle normally takes up over 90% of all meals and snacks and utilizes that for energy. But the muscle becomes insulin resistant first, so it can't utilize it normally. So most of those calories that should be used for energy are now taken to the abdomen and stored as fat. That's what starts this whole thing. You haven't changed your lifestyle, all that. You just tipped over in this abnormal metabolic state. We're now calling it metabolic dysfunction. So we're trying to break the cycle. Well, improving insulin sensitivity is critical. But now we got a game changer in AbVantage. Here's the game changer. It's improving insulin sensitivity, but it's attacking and releasing this fat. So as you improve and you use the drops, they're better together. Do you understand? The Slenderized drops and AbVantage are key. So who couldn't get excited about this? From my standpoint, they work together, but it's more than calories in, calories out. So we're expending more energy. That's fine. But it's attacking the white fat cells, ladies and gentlemen, that's what it is. And so this is what we're going to see. So anybody that gets started or gets into a plateau, you want to add AbVantage, you've got it. That's what we're looking at. And so this is what we're doing, and everybody's there. So let's just leave it there, understand what we've got, and get excited, and go ahead and try it. That's what we want. Thank you very much.